All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Before I get into today's topic, I just want to apologize for any confusion that was caused from yesterday's Ed Puzzle debacle. If you guys noticed, I uploaded a video from you to YouTube, and I tried to get that YouTube onto Ed Puzzle. I think I figured out what I did wrong, so hopefully the next time I do that, that won't happen. So I appreciate your patience, and I appreciate you guys telling me that it wasn't working in the first place. So I was able to, you know, troubleshoot it, and obviously we ended up doing something a little different. So I do apologize for that. Hopefully that won't happen in the future. I don't want to say definitely because this is very new for me too. So I'm still learning just like you guys, but I'll do my best to keep those things to a minimum. So for today, for Friday's assignment, we are going to be talking about something that I mentioned. Well, I mentioned in my video before. I'm sure Miss McClatchy mentioned it in hers. Maybe she didn't, but is something known as George Washington's farewell address. Okay. Now you may be wondering what the heck does this have to do with political parties, Mr. Cloutier? Well, we'll get there. So just a little background information. I know we all know George Washington. We all know he's on the dollar bill. He's on the quarter. He's obviously the first president, and we all know that stuff. But a little bit more about him. So before he became president, he served as commander in chief of the Continental Army during the Revolutionary War. And if you remember, the Revolutionary War was, again, another word for it would be the American Revolution, was the conflict between the colonies. Again, I can't say the United States because we were not the United States technically yet at that point. We had declared ourselves independent, and we were those 13 colonies that rebelled against Great Britain. And that led to the American Revolution, the Revolutionary War, and eventually to winning our independence from Great Britain. And after George Washington served as our commander in chief of the armed forces, he served as president. So while he was serving as commander in chief, he also at one point was serving as president, as the leader of our nation around the same time. Many of our founding fathers felt that he was the best choice for the job. I know it's tough. I know a lot of you have seen pictures of him, but he was a very intimidating, stoic figure. He was tall, a little, probably around my height, maybe a little shorter. I'm like 6'2", 6'3". He was probably like 6 foot, 6'1". But for that time, that was pretty tall. People didn't get that tall at the time. And he did serve as president for 2 terms. Okay, so from 1789 to 1797, he served as president. Now, as you might imagine, he was fighting wars or fighting a war, serving as president. That could be pretty tiresome. That could be pretty time consuming. So, with the help of someone who we're all a little familiar with, Alexander Hamilton, he wrote his famous farewell address. And that is where we get into this topic about, what this address is all about. Okay. So in general, this farewell address included 3 key points. And before I get to those points, pretty much what he did was he wrote this speech. It wasn't a speech that he stood up in front of thousands of Americans and gave a speech, kind of like you guys see when the president gives a State of the Union address or a president gives a speech at his or her inauguration. Okay, which is when they are sworn in as president of the United States. This was a little different because obviously in the 1700s, there was really no way to gather all Americans, whether it be in person or virtually or with the use of television or the internet. So they took the speech and they printed it in newspapers around the country and they spread them out that way. So that way everyone was able to read the speech. So the 3 main things, the 3 key points or warnings, okay, that George Washington expressed in his speech are the ones that I've listed below. Now, I'm not going to explain these very much because that's part of your assignment today, so I'm not going to take away from that. But the 3 things you guys are going to be reading about and working with are the importance of unity throughout the nation, beware of foreign entanglements. I wonder what that means. Getting entangled with foreign things. I wonder what that means. And also to avoid political parties, which is really why we are learning about this speech in the first place. So you guys are going to be looking at these 3 topics, key points, warnings that George Washington included in his farewell speech, okay? So what I'm going to do right now is just kind of walk you through the assignments. You guys are going to complete the George Washington's farewell speech assignment. It's going to go on to Classroom. It's a document. It looks like this, which you guys will have access to when you guys get there. Everyone's going to get their own copy. So you're going to complete that assignment. It involves a chart that you're going to fill out, and also it's a short answer question at the very end. Shouldn't take you guys too long, but definitely important stuff there. So in order to access, there are going to be 2 different things you're going to need to have the correct information. So as you can see, there are actually 2 hyperlinks at the top of the page here, okay? So this is going to be a combination of writing short, brief explanations of these 3 warnings that Washington laid out in his speech. And yes, we are going to be giving this a shot. We're going to see if we can express the meaning of these warnings through memes. Okay, so let me show you guys the article you're going to be reading. Okay, so the article right there, which again is attached to your assignment, it should take you to a history.com article titled George Washington's Farewell Speech. It's a few paragraphs long, and it's going to help you guys get some context and background information on why the speech was written, and also, more explanation of those 3 key points or 3 warnings that George Washington mentioned in his farewell address. Okay, so you're going to start with that. You're going to need that. And when you get to the meme part, and what I mean by the memes is for each of the warnings, after you provide me a brief, and again, brief, give me 1 sentence. I'm not asking for a lot. I'm not asking for a paragraph for this part. Give me a brief sentence, okay? Give me 1 sentence explaining in your own words what each of these warnings mean. You're going to include that in the boxes below where it says brief explanation. When you get to the meme section, I want you guys, and again, some of you may already know how to do the memes. I've included a video. Actually, Miss McClatchley gave me a video that she made, so I figured she did such a good job with that. Why not just use the video that she gave me? So that video is included on your streams on your Classroom pages, okay? But the website that is going to pop up there is a meme generator website, which again, you guys may have used before. So I'm going to leave most of the explanation to Miss McClatchy. All right, she did an excellent job when it came to explaining this, so I'm going to let her take care of that. But here you go. So there's a meme website. It's pretty cool. There's lots of memes in there to choose from. So the memes that you create, the pictures you select, and the memes and the text that you include in the memes should represent the importance and the purpose, or just the warnings in general. Each meme that you include should illustrate and represent what each of these warnings are all about. Okay? So don't overthink the memes. Give it your best shot. It's very easy to do, and just do your best with that. Try to have fun with it. I know it's Friday, so I try to come up with a little bit more of a, different kind of assignment to kind of get you guys through Friday and get you onto the weekend. There's also a question on the bottom that states, do you think that our country has listened to George Washington's warnings? Why or why not? So I'm going to let you guys roll with that. So that's all from me. Again, as always, if there's any work that you have not finished, I will accept it. I can't promise full credit, but I will give you something. It's better than having a 0. And above all else, guys, enjoy your weekend. Hopefully the weather is nice, and hopefully you guys get outside and enjoy yourselves. And I hope you learned something from this lesson. All right? Have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you guys later.